want to buy something in Hawaii, and
Bank of Hawaii runs the board on that, from what I understand.
what do you mean?
They just like everybody gets a loan from Bank of Hawaii. I mean, I suppose you get a loan from anybody, but
Yeah, but we all know when you go direct, it's slower and more painful. Like,
well, you're dealing with Hawaii too.
Oh, exactly.
So, I mean,
exactly.
Surf's up, baby.
At least they understand.
what's that?
Surf's up, baby.
Yeah, really. And they don't even lie to you, like, yeah, you know, sorry, I didn't go to
No.
the meeting, I was surfing.
Yeah,
Like, at least lie to me.
that's
Somebody
the other
died,
side.
you know.
The schools there are terrible. I don't know if
They
you
are.
ever,
Yeah.
because, and I was reading about why that is, and they were saying that basically culturally, a lot of those people have no designs to leave the island ever, so they're perfectly content to just surf and work their construction job, whatever. So why get an education?
Right.
They're not going
Interesting.
anywhere.
Wow.
So
Wow.
You think they get island fever, but
the natives don't, but everybody else that I've known that's moved, they're done.
Yeah.
They're like,
And they-
I'm done. A year in, they're like,
Yeah.
"Whoa."
Yeah. No, I would never move there. But
Yeah,
this
yeah,
would be
I mean, I love visiting
I
Hawaii.
love visiting.
Yeah.
But
But I could see there being like, my pet be there a lot. I go, you know, I just.
Can't do it. Especially, I'm talking Kauai. That's a different story.
Oh
But- and-
that's even slower.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's slow.
Yeah.
That's slow. And the funny thing is, their go-to place is Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
They
You know,
got-
Mike Zalen owns a place in Kauai.
Mike is who I'm talking to about
Oh.
all this. He's my financial advisor,
Yeah.
and we're like, I'm going to talk to Rob. Maybe he's licensed there, whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wish I was,
love
because
Mike.
it'd be a great market to have a little angle.
Yeah, I gotta go visit his place because he's showing me pictures. It's really pretty.
Well, okay, he sold it.
Did he really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Good for him.
And he and I are pretty good friends, and we met here. We met
Yeah,
on this
oh,
very
see?
table.
Good.
Yay.
See, I tell you, you never know where things come from. you know?
Exactly.
Good stuff. Okay, so the three of us here, you know, I do have the email questions for both of you, which are very good. Was there any specific things that you guys wanted to cover?
Well, remember, like, look back at 5 years ago. That was the bottom
That's
stuff. Okay, got
yeah,
it.
that's your,
Got it.
That's your email.
And just, I mean, I could just share a couple of sales I was recently involved in where they went hundreds of thousands over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, let's
Try
talk
that
about
one in on that.
Okay.
Writing love letters.
Love letters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Southern California,
yeah.
but
Here, same.
Same
yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a mention for the sunset celebration here. I mean, I've got a few mentions. I'm not going to do them all at once. I'll speak
Yeah.
pattern, but I'll start off with that one.
You're the
Ready?
master. You're the master.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay. Way to go. Welcome. You're listening to The Best of Investing. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host, Rob Spinoza of RPM Mortgage and Patti Cohen of Pacific Union International. Mark Hunt is off today. That rascal, he's been doing a lot of traveling. Our phone number is 888.
is that what they call it these days?
Yes, yeah, that is what they call it. Yes, actually, his kid was graduating college, so we got to go down there for that.
Oh.
Our phone number is 888-912-1190. You're going to use that number to answer the trivia questions for a 5-pack tanning certificate given away during this show. And that certificate is not sponsored by the radio station, but by Tan Bella Tanning Salon with 2 locations in San Francisco and 1 in Marin. It's getting sunny out there. But you don't want to burn. Get your tan on first, right?
That's
Check
it.
them out. They're very, very, very nice people. I want to make a quick mention here for the Sunset Celebration Weekend, which is coming up today, the 21st, and excuse me, the 20th, and tomorrow, the 21st, at Cornerstone Sonoma, which is a beautiful winery. And here's some of the highlights. They have Camp Sunset, which is the best of glamping tips.
Oh, wow.
Glamping, right? That's
Wow.
like fancy camping, right?
Yeah.
And inspiration
I'm
under
surprised my wife
canvas.
does not know that one.
I know. I remember the first time I ever heard that term was with Justin Bieber. Beaver. And then they're also going to have the best chefs on 2 cooking stages, live fire and outdoor cooking demos, Sunset Beautiful Test Garden, and 2 days of wine seminars and sipping. You betcha, I am there today.
I'm there. So, which day is going to be the chefs?
Well, it says, I think it's 2 days.
All right.
Well, it says
Exciting.
2 stages, so we'll definitely got to check that out.
Yeah, those tickets.
Okay, so Patti, you wanted to talk about some interesting sales you had.
Oh boy, it's we
Are they
saw.
all interesting? Or?
They're all interesting. Interesting is a very word, like unique, quote unquote. But no, some really kind of exciting sales. We just around this time last year and even the year before, we started seeing a leveling, especially like June of 2015. We were like, okay, so in the upper luxury properties, this is the end, and there was softening. And last year, around the mid-year, we saw the same. But this year has just taken off like lightning.
Wow.
And I think part of it is we had the last half of last year was crazy because we were distracted with the election, so
I
not
agree.
much happened. And so there's all this pent up demand, and we always have, lack of inventory. So, for example, I listed a property in Marin County, which was basically a tract home. It was a very nice tract home, but a tract home. So they're not hard to price. We priced it at 1,495, which was correct. Could have done 1,510,000, but I think that's illegal. Anyway, so we got 1,495. So anyway, so what's happening now is preemptive offers more than ever.
We're seeing a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So 10 days later, all cash. You probably don't see them because they're usually all cash,
See that
but
too,
you see it both,
Yeah.
right? But 10 days later, all cash. It sold at 1,179,000. Now that's
It's 7-1.
1,719.
171.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
1,719. That's from a 1,495, which was correct pricing for a tract home.
So when you're on the other side of that, when you don't win those bids, and let's say you have a buyer and they watch somebody else go at 1,719 when it was listed at 1,495, what do you tell them about their future prospect in the market?
Well,
How do you keep
how do
them
I
encouraged?
counsel a seller?
How do you counsel the buyer? If you've got a buyer in there and they just watched, so they said, okay, this place came on the market at 1,495 and it sold for 1,719 all cash.
What are they going to do next time?
Right. I would think that person would think, well, that buyer overpaid.
Yeah.
So
So let's talk for a buyer for a second.
Right.
Because when it's a multiple offer situation or preemptive like that, I always say, whatever that price is that, let's say you're bidding on 16 other offers, you need to be happy if you get it, and you need to be happy if you don't get it.
That's very good advice.
Yeah. Because it's there's three things. What is it actually worth, fair market value?
Right.
What are you willing to pay?
Yeah.
And what can you actually afford?
Right.
Good, yeah. Very good.
So at the 171.
Why did it go up so high?
Okay.
Did they just fall in love with the property that much?
Well, elderly person needed.
Urgency.
It needed the first floor.
Okay,
A lot of people.
okay.
If note to the people out there.
Yeah.
Next house you buy, make sure the master's on the first floor because
Yeah.
the baby
Functional
boomers are a big
obsolescence.
bulge,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're all retiring.
Yeah.
So they want even if you're fit and doing marathons,
Right.
you think like 30 years from now might have to
point,
navigate
right.
stairs.
Yeah.
So do that first floor. So this was a case where the buyer had a stroke, wanted to be around family and grandchildren. The gay could go upstairs. They weren't going to use upstairs. They just had their nice.
But did they need to go a million?
That's a good
They-
point.
Probably not. But we already had.
But it's a knockout punch.
It's knockout punch because what happened was they were showing it, and the agent called me and I said, "We've got a really nice preemptive offer on the table, which was 1,550."
Right.
Didn't say all this, but that's how it happened. And I was like, "If you guys come,
must have loved you.
true,
Yeah.
true."
I love you, and I'm not even the seller.
And now, how do you counsel sellers? Now,
Right.
this
Okay.
is
So
how-
yeah. So the way I was counseling the seller at the 1,550, I told them I like to underpromise, overdeliver. So I told them at the 1,495, it's possible we might get multiple offers.
Right.
I kind of thought we would. Maybe we do 1,525,
Right.
550. So it comes in at 150. So I said to them, here's what you need to be really clear that buyers make preemptive offers so that you won't expose it to all those other hundreds of
Yes.
buyers.
Good
Now,
point.
maybe on Monday or Tuesday when we say we're looking at offers, there won't be any people. And this person at 1,550 may very well come back, and there's no competition. They might be at 1,475.
Yeah. We've seen
That's
some.
Yeah.
You never know.
Or there might be multiple offers and it goes up to 1,600. We don't know.
You don't know. Okay, hey guys, we're guys and gals. We're going to go to our first commercial break. We're back to random trivia again. All right, you ready for this one?
Get this card every
I know.
time.
Well, I got to keep you in suspenders. Which New England state does not have any ocean coastline? That's a pretty good question. All right. Call 888-912-1190 to answer that question. If you're the first caller with the correct answer, you're going to win a free 5-pack $10 certificate. All right? Don't touch that dial. The best of investing is going to be right back.
Well, given that I'm from back there, and so are you.
Yeah.
Should know
Is
that.
it Vermont?
New Hampshire.
Is it New Hampshire?
It's one of the
It's
two.
one of those two. Because it's not Maine, it's not Massachusetts, it's not Rhode Island.
That's right. Not New York.
Not Jersey.
It's Iowa. And then not New England.
Landlocked.
And New York and Jersey, where I'm from,
Yeah.
are not, New England.
That's right. They're not technically.
We wouldn't want to be. We're too cool for that. But anyway, so when we got that 1719, there was no counseling needed. It was just like, you guys got to sit down. Here's the deal.
It's all cash too, you said, right?
10 days later, done.
That's the thing. All cash deals aren't good for you.
Well, I mean, it's a component of the market, and it's not a stranger to us anymore. So
I mean,
we beat all cash. We got a deal closed in Mill Valley, downtown Mill Valley, 180-ish range, and they had an all cash offer on the table, and buyers went in higher price.
Good.
Got a call from the listing agent, one of your colleagues, at Pac Union, and it was as solid as could be. They got it in contract. You never know.
Well, the other deal I just did, right, you did, but where I did both sides, the tear down in Tiburon, we priced it at 3599, and I'm doing both sides at $4 million closing next week.
Nice.
And it was preemptive offer. And I said to the fellows, you know what? He goes, I'm going to do a full price offer. I'm like, you're not going to get it, and we're not going to wait. It's next week. We're getting $1 million. $4 million. Took it, and it's a loan, but it's not contingent on it. So in other words, you can still get a loan, but it's not contingent.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
120,000 pounds.
Are we ready? We can go right into your email
Okay.
based on that because of market thing.
All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much time.
No,
Bob's
keep
gotta
going.
get in here.
We got some.
All right.
Here we go. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Patti Cohen and Rob Spinoza. First trivia question was, which New England state does not have any ocean coastline?
Vermont?
New Hampshire.
Vermont is correct.
I'll take credit for that. I forgot which one I said last time.
Yeah. Okay, got to mention here for the Mount Shasta Resort. This time they're talking golf. Last time they were with us, they talked skiing because it was February. Now they're talking golf. So how far would you go for an unforgettable round of golf? The Mount Shasta Resort is much closer than you think. Enjoy the crisp mountain air, breathtaking views, and one of California's finest golf courses, all waiting for you at the Mount Shasta Resort. Call 530-926-3052. All right? And it says here, receive a free green fee when you bring your driver's license during the month of your birthday.
Ooh.
I like that. That's pretty cool. All right. So, Patti, you know what? We got an email that kind of fits along the lines of what you were just talking about, which was, because the price went way higher than the listing price. How does the market look today versus 5 years ago, which seems to be sort of the bottom? Is this likely the top?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question because that's what I've been thinking about recently. Always thinking about how do you counsel people? Is this the top? But we know what the bottom was, and it was right around 2012. So back to, are we softening? I'm not seeing signs of it, but so if you, just for example, I took Marin County, and the last 3 months of Marin County, the average price was 1,294. Let's call it 1,3. In 2012, for those very same months 5 years ago, it was 715,000.
Oh, wow.
So over 80% more. Now, I'll tell you what sometimes gets reported. The number of sales for those 3 months were 466
In 12.
in 17.
Oh.
In 2012, it was 532.
Yeah, so there were more sales.
There were more sales, but sometimes the focus by media and people that don't get it is that, oh, wow, number of sales are down. What's wrong? So the thing is, okay, so it's down 12.5%.
We have to look at the mean, the mode, and the median.
Exactly.
You have to look at all three.
Yes, and then if you want to see really what the absorption rate is and what the trend is, you got to look at number of days on market.
Yeah.
So number of days on market now is 27, then it's 57. That's more than double.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So back then,
Yeah.
and now the percentage of asking 5 years ago, it was 3.5% under asking.
Yeah.
Now it's on average of 1% over. So that tells you it's an inventory problem.
Yeah. Good point.
And then just kind of for giggles, for historical perspective, I looked at 1975. What was the price? $40,000.
Yeah.
And what was it in 2000?
I'm curious how many units they sold. Do you have that for 75?
You know what? I was curious too. And I looked at, literally today, I looked at a graph from 1974 until now, and the number of units were very consistent.
Wow.
I mean, let me tell you, not
Well, 'cause you
consistent.
can't- yeah.
Not it was like, you know,
Right.
arrows. I mean, it was just
Right.
ups and downs. But if you took a line across it, it was consistent.
Interesting.
Because we're in a no growth. Well, that
Yeah,
just happens to
that's
be
what I
right.
was
We're in a
saying.
no growth county.
Right.
And net, more people are always coming here but leaving. But you can't, you know,
Yeah.
pitch a tent wherever you feel like.
Do you think that you hear this term that it's like, well, once you live wherein, you can never come back.
Everyone
People
says that.
said that because of the price, you know, and all that. I don't know if that's necessarily true. If you would have left in, 2005 and then came back in 2012, you could have easily come back.
See, that's a great. Okay, so 2005, the median price was $1,075,000,
There you go.
and in 15 it was $1,260,000.
But in 2000.
Well,
Yeah,
it was 715,
yeah,
so there
exactly.
you go. But so now in 1995, 370,000.
You have to remember
Those were our
though.
days.
So 2012 and the years directly before it. So probably from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in that range, the attitude about housing was dramatically different too. So we were talking to people and they would say things like, "Oh, my house would never sell at that price," or And so it's interesting to look at the human psychology with those markets too, because it's the classic Warren Buffett, buy when there's mud in the streets. When other people are greedy, be scared. When other people are scared, be greedy. And people weren't jumping at prices back then because they thought it was going to keep going down.
Yeah, but also there's a huge thing is interest rates.
And
when they're low, you can afford a lot more.
Right, but if you look at the trend on either side of that, like that's a great comparison. If you look at 05, 06, we did a lot of loans just because of the nature of where the market was that were in the mid fives. You don't see that anymore. If you tell somebody they're looking at mid fives right now, they balk.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who they are and what type of loan program it is. So a lot of that credit availability piece was tied to other things like stated income and other components of the credit market that don't exist anymore, and that propped up that market. But I think to your point, Patty, and do you see a bubble? I don't, because everything that's selling in that market is either selling strong cash or it's selling with a highly qualified buyer. So it's a real market underneath that. It's not this credit exposed bubble like we had in 05 and 06.
Yeah.
Very different.
Well, and the two major reasons also is that we don't have an economy propped up by .com nonsense, and there are lending guidelines, as Rob knows, that are stringent and well thought out of. As this country has been built all those years, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the other part of back to the mentality, up until 2005, people would always say, "Well, it's my home; it'll never go down."
Right.
Well, it did go down.
It did go down. Yeah.
And
good point.
part of the reason it went down is the two things I just mentioned, and also the psychology of using your house like an ATM to go on vacation or buy a boat. Before, like our parents, they got a GI Bill and they bought in the cul-de-sac. They retired after 40 years and they let their loan go to 30 years and they celebrated it.
Yeah.
They never,
Burn the mortgage.
and it used to be like if you refinanced in those days, it was a little shameful.
Yeah,
something was going wrong.
Or something.
Yeah, something's going wrong in your life.
Interesting. But again, when the interest rates go down, though, it only makes sense to.
Well, one of the articles I brought talks about U.S. new home sales rise despite higher mortgage rates, and I know Mark has talked about this a bit on the show before in previous editions, and we see month in and month out. Obviously, we see variations in rates. So right now, if you're asking about an interest rate, it's lower than it was at the start of 2017. But at the same time, whether rates go slightly higher or slightly lower, we're not seeing that diminish the interest in becoming a homeowner. So when you have somebody, it may affect their affordability, and if they're right on the cusp of qualifying or not qualifying, a higher rate certainly doesn't help them. But in terms of interest rates driving this market, I just don't see it.
No.
It's the front line of what I do.
No, it's not that elastic.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to cut to another commercial break. These breaks go a little too fast. Want to make a quick mention here also for the San Francisco Symphony. On May 26th, I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly. Baritone Matthias Gurn sings Shostakovich's Suite on verses of Michelangelo Buonarroti. Music that grapples with life, death, and fate.
And your vocab and your ability to say that.
Yes, it's not
I'm
very
impressed.
good.
I'm very impressed.
But anyway, it has to do with Tchaikovsky, and I can pronounce his name. soaring through the 5th Symphony. That's May 25th through 27th. Tickets and information, 415-864-6000 or visit sfsymphony.org. All right, second trivia question. What New York Yankee was nicknamed Mr. October? You know this one? Okay. And just to be on the fun side, we're going to give those tanning certificates to the first 3 callers with the correct answer. 888-912-1190 to answer this question. What New York Yankee was nicknamed Mr. October? All right. And when we come back, we're going to get into an email for Rob.
All right.
That has to do with interest-only loans, because that's a question that gets asked a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, don't touch that dial. The best of investing. We'll be right back.
Not to be sexist, but men are going to be able to answer the question and women
Probably.
use the tanning salons. They're like, I forget it, I don't want it. But I got a wife that's going to be happy.
Give it to the wife, exactly.
That's right.
Bad boy.
I know there wasn't Mr. October, I've heard of it.
You know what's so funny about that? You'll get this because, I mean, you're a sports fan, but how they make all the jokes about Mr. May and all the, all the players they nicknamed, like Steinbrenner nicknamed Alex Rodriguez Mr. May.
What's the October thing about?
So, World Series.
Oh.
So they called him Mr. October because he hit really well in the World Series.
Oh.
So
3 home runs.
yeah, George Steinbrenner, the owner of the Yankees, when with Alex Rodriguez, he always would fail in the playoffs, and so they started nicknaming him Mr. May at the beginning of the season.
Oh my God, now I get it. Yeah,
And then, so you know the answer to the question?
Yeah.
Who's Mr. November?
That would be the guy that just got inducted.
That's right.
Right? Jeter. Yeah.
Jeter.
Oh, Jared Jeter. Okay, got it.
Yeah, because the series could be over in October, right? I mean, back in the day, the series used to end in October. Now it carries over into November.
That's right.
Or can.
Yeah, you usually are around early November. All right, ready?
Okay.
Here we go. Let's do this bad boy. Yeah. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Rob Spinoza and Patti Cohen. Second trivia question, and Rob knew this one. What New York Yankee was nicknamed Mr. October?
Who is Reggie Jackson?
Who is Reggie Jackson? That is correct. And in the form of a question, yes. And Rob, before we get into your email, now this
I'm
one.
on a roll, man.
Yeah,
Don't
you're on a
stop.
roll. Okay. Wait, you don't know about this though. So we've got a new sponsor here called the Gym Guys with a Z,
Okay.
and they are a mobile personal training company where they come to you. So rather than you have to go into a gym, you call them, and they've got a mobile van.
I already don't like them because then it ruins that excuse.
Well, yeah. And aren't you supposed to not be lazy? Like getting to the gym should not be a problem.
No, wait, it's not that. What it has to do with is, a lot of people, they don't want to be
That's great.
embarrassed by going to the gym. I don't want people to see how
Gyms
you
are very
play or
intimidating
whatever.
for some folks.
For some people, right?
Yeah.
And this way, they come to your house. I mean, they'll work you. They'll work you out.
Yeah.
But how many people, can afford the equipment
Yeah.
or a gym membership?
And you never get as good of a workout at home as you do in the gym. And everyone I've ever talked to that's been involved in fitness
that's
will always
true.
say that.
So this way, they bring the gym to
Yeah.
you, and
Wow.
it's kind of cool because there's no, they don't have membership fees, which is nice, and they give you a free body assessment. And you can check them out at www.gymguys.com and then /location/Marin County.
So where are they based? All over the Bay Area?
Well, they're doing just Marin County now, and then they're eventually going to go to Petaluma. And best thing you can also do is call them is 415-448-8100. All right.
I hope they get that off the ground.
No, yeah. No, they are already off the ground. They are a working one. My goodness gracious. Okay, so here we go. Rob.
Yes.
I'm thinking of using an interest-only loan to get a lower payment and buy a house that is a little above what I was approved with my bank. What do you think about interest-only loans? That's a good question.
It is a good question. So what I think about interest-only loans is different than what this caller is actually getting at, and that is, can you use an interest-only loan to help you qualify for maybe a mortgage where you're stretching a little bit further to get to a higher price point? The answer to that, by and large, is no. You cannot do that. And the reason is that with the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Financial Reform Act, interest-only is considered a toxic feature. So they don't like it. The regulators don't like it, and what they do to lenders when we make an interest-only loan is they make us clear additional hurdles to prove that the buyer has the ability to repay pay the loan.
Well, how about a negam loan?
Oh, dear.
That's toxic. Like,
That's
yeah,
double toxic.
that's right.
What's up?
That's like
Morning,
hazmat
officer.
suit.
Morning.
Yeah. So interest only. Getting back to that. So typically, when we have an interest only client, they are qualifying off of a payment behind the scenes that's significantly higher than the actual payment they will make. So the moral of the story is when you go to get an interest only loan, no, you can't use it to gain. Well, my payment's a lot lower, so therefore I can qualify for more. It doesn't work that way in our eyes. The loans themselves, if understood by the borrower, can be great. So we see interest-only loans oftentimes with our savviest borrowers who have a strategy financially that loan serves.
So they actually qualify for a loan that's like a 30-year amortization, but they choose to take interest only.
Yeah, exactly. And let me give you an example how they might do that. So let's say you got a 7-1 interest-only ARM. So that is a little bit complicated, but it'd be fixed for the first 7 years, and it would typically be interest-only for those first 7 years. The lender will probably take the interest rate if they don't adjust it upward by a percentage, let's say 2% over the start rate.
Yeah.
What they'll do is they'll then amortize it over the remaining term of a 30-year term. So 7 years subtract 7 from 30, 23. So 23-year amortization at the interest rate is typically how they would qualify.
You know what? I did that without taking off my shoes and socks.
Yeah.
And,
So
fingers and toes.
so let us do that for you. It would be. Yeah, it would help you understand it. It's a little bit harder of a loan to understand behind the scenes, but if it's a good fit for you financially, certainly the loans are available. We can do them aggressively usually up to 80% loan to value, sometimes beyond. And if anybody has any questions about it, they should certainly call.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me on, they can do a search on Yelp. I'm all over Yelp and in Marin County for a mortgage broker, and they can reach me at 415-367-5959. I work for RPM Mortgage. And our office is in Mill Valley.
Very good. And Patty, before I forget, how do people get a hold of you if they have questions about how can they sell a house for hundreds of thousands of dollars more?
Every time.
I've done it so many times this year. I've sold actually, 16 properties this year.
Good for you.
Best year of my life so far,
Wow.
but I've done it several times. But anyway, so it's Patti Cohn, C-O-H-N, with Pacific Union Real Estate, and I'm at 415-722-4842.
And if people are outside of Marin, they can still call you, and then maybe you can refer somebody or work with somebody. At least you can give some really good advice.
I can, and I also work outside the county depending on the situation.
Yeah, I've seen you have listings in Sonoma.
I do a lot in Napa, sometimes Sonoma. I also do San Francisco, and I also co-list with a local agent. So they're getting 2 agents for the price of 1.
Gotcha. And then plus you've got the smarts to be able to give them the advice, which is very valuable for those folks out there who are looking for an agent and don't know who to call. At least they can start off with Patti and
and I mean, and to be able to get 2 agents, one local and me covering the whole Bay Area, they're for the same price. That's a value.
that actually is that's
Co-listing's the way to go.
You know, I got a call this morning. So I got a call this morning about a transaction where the listing agent called me to vet the approval letter, and their one reservation about the deal was that they felt that the buyer's agent was inexperienced. So the market is moving at a pace now. I notice, certainly you see this day in and day out on your side of the deal, but if you're a buyer, if you're looking to purchase a home, the need to align with an experienced real estate agent is worth its weight in gold. And I know there's a lot of competition out there from the Redfins of the world, and people think they can handle these things on their own. If you want to investigate that, certainly feel free to do it. But I would just say, as a mortgage lender, that what we see very often is the value that experienced professionals bring to a deal, and they can help you get into contract where maybe someone else couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. If there's 16 offers, how do you? And the prices are all kind of the same.
Yeah.
How do you get in the game?
Yeah.
And also, I mean, sometimes experienced agents never even get to the top. Lucky that person was able to get to the top.
Yeah.
But if you do, that's the secret agents don't tell. A lot of times it's about the agent too.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, I don't buy warranties, for refrigerators and stuff like that, because to me, I think it's kind of a waste of money. But the thing is, I said this on the show that and years ago, back in 1979, my dad's best friend was a real estate broker. He started Madison Company.
Oh yeah.
And he said the agent's commission is the cheapest commission that person ever spends. Now he was talking from a broker standpoint, but actually he was right though, because especially like in the Bay Area, you have sophisticated people people.
Yeah.
And if I'm a sophisticated buyer and I find out that the seller is doing a FISBO,
Right.
I'm going to go, man,
Right.
this is my opportunity. I'm going to take advantage of this.
Yeah.
I mean, try not
Well,
to.
I mean, buyers of FISBOs, the first thing they do is take 6% off
That's
the top.
it. Yeah. So hey, listen, you're saving money on the commission. So
Right.
yeah. So that is not the smartest thing to do.
Right.
I mean, listen. If I ever sell my house, I'm licensed,
Right.
but I would hire somebody else
Yeah.
to do it.
Well, and you also have listed properties where the buyers think that they're going to go unrepresented and they think they're getting that 3% in their pocket. They're not.
Yeah, that's true. You always have to price it correctly there. All right, we're going to come to our third commercial break here. Trivia question. Now, this you have to go back in time to remember your Roman numerals.
Okay.
All right. What does the Roman numeral LXXX denote? And it's not an R. It's not an X-rated movie.
Or extra large.
Yeah.
I would have gotten it otherwise.
888-912-1190. First caller is going to win the tanning certificate. Talk to you soon. Don't go anywhere. The best investing will be right back.
The big and tall shot.
Yeah, every other.
L is
Yes.
L is
That's
thousand.
right. All right.
L is 498.
No, no, L's either 1,000 or 100, and then the XXX.
I miss 1,000, isn't it? Yeah, I miss 1,000.
I know, it's like so confusing how they used to do that.
L might be 500. What was it? What was the question?
LXXX.
A gazillion.
A gazillion. That's right.
It's so funny though, because people can just go on their phones for these questions. That's what
Well,
True, but it's a time thing too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when I was asking easier questions, and one time I literally got 45 phone calls.
Yes,
And
yeah.
I just, and I don't want to be disrespectful and like ignore people. Oh, you're the first three people to ignore everybody else. So I
You have
literally emailed every single person. You're number 6. You're number 20. You know.
Oh no, people don't expect that.
But I wanted to be nice to people.
Then you got over it.
Yeah. Then I got Then I started asking harder questions.
Questions, yeah.
So now Mark's not here, but I do want to kind of, do a little something for him.
Well, you should probably tell them to email you on these questions if you get too many. Email me instead.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got like a deal owed a week. And I can talk about it. Okay, you ready? And then we can just kind of talk in general. Yeah, this one's a longer segment.
With amongst yourselves.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Patti Cohen and Rob Spinoza. Notice how I switched that up.
Yeah, I did.
Ooh. Can't tell the
Felt
players.
slighted.
You can't tell the players without scoring. Okay, third trivia question. What does the Roman numeral LXXX denote?
Let's say 530.
15,000.
128.2. No, 80.
80.
L stands for 50.
Oh, so it's close. I thought 500. Okay.
Yeah, that's why you said 530. See, everyone knew
Very
X is 10.
That's great.
Aha, we tweaked you will. How do you? All right. So Mark isn't here, but I do have a deal of the week from him.
Okay.
So there's a house in San Francisco. Guy owns the house, but it's got an illegal unit. I mean, what do they call it? It's not
Accessory.
illegal.
Unpermitted.
Unpermitted unit,
Yeah.
but he's rented out, right? And he's not getting hassled on it or anything. He wants to refinance.
Not yet, anyway.
Not
I
really,
know.
not anyway, yeah.
Not after this airs.
He's providing housing, so we love all those people, right?
Right.
So the problem was that he was in the position of changing jobs.
Okay.
So even though he makes good money, he's making like $150,000 a year, and he's going to make probably the same going to another job. He hasn't. He's not
Between.
doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
So at this point, he needs to refinance with his home equity line as well as credit card
Okay.
bills and real estate
Yeah.
taxes and all that kind of stuff. And the LTV is, loan to value is really good. I mean, it's probably less than 50%.
Wow.
But he can't get a bank to give him a loan.
So what is he in now? Did Mark tell you the detail? Like, so he's got conventional financing?
He's
now?
on the first.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and he's got
He got a HELOC.
he's got a HELOC
Okay.
on the second.
And he's got to consolidate some other stuff to
Yeah,
get out of the
exactly.
Got it.
That's
Okay.
right. So he's got to pay off all that other stuff.
Right.
So he's in a situation now where he just can't get a bank loan.
Right.
So now it looks like he'll go to Pacific Private Money. they'll make him the loan to get him to
Right.
the point where when he gets his
Job, yeah,
handled. And the thing is, he has income from
From the
that,
property.
from the property.
Yeah.
So he lives in one unit, and rents out the other. He lives upstairs, downstairs, that sort of thing.
Well, that occupancy thing is probably giving him the angle on private money too, correct?
Correct.
Because my understanding is that if it's owner occupied, they have a hard time doing those, but if it's a business purpose loan, then he has a renter in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's certain
Right.
things that they can do to make it a legal loan.
Right.
And so from the borrower's standpoint, hey, someone came to save the day.
Yep.
And then eventually he'll refinance with a regular bank loan once he gets the
Yep.
seasoning done of his
6 months.
job.
Yep. Everybody's job.
And then from the investor standpoint, so Pacific Private Money, from their standpoint, they're making a loan that is less than 50% loan to value, and the odds are this guy will eventually get a job, and in the meantime he'll use the income from the rental to pay the mortgage anyway. And if for some reason he defaults, you get the property.
50%'s not bad.
And yeah, exactly. So it's not a bad deal.
Right.
And the I think the interest rates being charged is like 10%.
Okay.
So,
But what this owner has to look at, and this is things, these are things that we cover with borrowers all the time. They come to us for conventional, so they're often interested in 3s and 4s, and we get that. But what this owner has to look at is he's solving his immediate problem,
correct.
right? He's consolidating that debt, and let's say he gets the loan, he pays the cost of the loan, and he holds the loan for 6 months.
Yeah.
That's his opportunity cost to get on with his life.
Yes.
I mean, how do you put a price on that? And they're making a great loan, and this guy's going to end up back in conventional financing before the year's out.
It's a win-win. Everybody's happy situation.
What I get puzzled about is why we as conventional lenders can't find solutions for that. I mean, I'm all for Mark and private money and what they do, because that is their business.
Well, it's the stringent requirements of the authoring.
Does not have ability
One word,
to repay.
government.
Yeah, does not have ability to
Yay,
repay.
government! I say more government.
Come on, guys, we're making America great.
Yeah.
Get down on it.
Just don't. I heard a term, just make America hate again. But anyway, that wasn't coming from the conservative people. It wasn't coming from the liberal people. It was coming from the conservative people who were upset,
Right?
because
Yes.
people are hating against Trump. So
Yeah.
anyway, because one time we had somebody on the show who said one little tiny thing. It wasn't exactly anti-Trump, but it was kind of sort of a little bent.
Yeah,
toward
it had a
anti-Trump.
slant, right?
And suddenly I get a phone call from this person saying, "You left-wing liberals."
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
No, I am not a left-wing liberal.
Well, you know what's funny about that is I brought an article, and I only did it because the headline is Trump tax plan could hit Bay Area homeowners hard, and it talks about what may be in the tax bill that could be forthcoming.
Like limiting the deduction?
Exactly.
Really? It's
Exactly.
funny. I wouldn't think
Well,
that Trump would want
There's always-
that.
yeah, I wouldn't think so
Eliminating
either.
the deduction for property taxes. So that is so.
Still, I mean, Trump is usually a pro-business.
Well,
type
they're
of
saying we don't.
anti-tax
What the article goes on to say is you don't know how that plays into the bigger picture with how that person's return would look once filed, even if they did that. So, but anyway, yeah, I realized that in bringing that, perhaps maybe not the best topic, especially given the political atmosphere right now. But what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Well, I was actually going to kind of bring it back to home a little bit. So, for those people out there who are looking at like the example I gave, and they say, well, I would love to invest in something that's 50% or less loan to value, and getting a great interest rate. I mean, is it no risk? No. I mean, it's possible for the property to go down more than 50% in 6 months or a year. Is it likely?
No.
I don't think so. So anyway, for those people who want to participate and invest and get great rates of return like that, they would call Mark Hunt at Pacific Private Money at 415-883-2150 or go to pacificprivatemoney.com.
So Mark would likely put that loan in the fund, because I've heard him on the show before.
Yeah, that's the sort of loan that would go into the fund.
Right.
Now in this case, that loan is a second mortgage.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, the interest rate is higher. I think it's 10.5% because it's a second mortgage. But the first mortgage is like 3% for the next 20-something years.
Oh, got it.
So
So this guy's going to put a second on it, a private money second. He's going to consolidate the HELOC and all the other debt.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second is only like $200,000. The first is less than $400,000, and the property is worth 1.2, something like that.
That makes perfect
Yeah.
sense.
So it's one of those instances where it's perfectly reasonable to do a second loan, a second mortgage on this property.
Now, do you know, I know Mark is not here, but do you know what sort of loan-to-value limit a private money lender might have on a second?
On a second, usually it'll still be 65% or less.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a wonderful service that he provides, both to investors, where you
Yes.
have a guaranteed rate of return.
Well,
and-
not a guaranteed. I mean, we
Yeah, I
have
thought it was.
no, it's not guaranteed. I mean, we have a preferred return. And we
Which
say
is
we because
8%.
most of
well,
our-
yes,
No,
I know where you're going
the
with that.
preferred return is
You're guaranteed to get more than your
7
bank.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we
that's a low,
we
set the
can't
bar
use the
really
word
low.
guarantee.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. But a preferred, and it seems to be consistent.
It
And
is
then-
every month.
And I've had clients that weren't, for whatever reason, actually one that I sent to you, remember that? They
I
ended
do.
up going to Mark.
That's
Yeah.
where I thought they would have to go.
Yeah, and
Oh,
she had so much money,
Right.
but couldn't get a loan.
Yeah.
Really? So what was the circumstance that?
Do you remember?
basically-
I kind of did.
Yeah, it was just that there was no history of documenting the income, the sources that were providing the income, if I recall the scenario properly. But what I don't know is how they got around the primary occupancy piece. So that is something.
Well, short-term bridge loan. Probably. It was a purchase.
It was a purchase.
purchase.
Yeah. So on
Yeah.
a purchase, you can do a short-term 11-month bridge loan.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, there's
so
certain
but
things you do.
the circumstances surrounding the income were that it wasn't a documented history of
Yeah.
receiving the income. So
Yeah.
lenders don't see any value.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Love that.
And it was a trust.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, that's right. It was a
It was
complicated
trust.
trust
Very
situation.
complicated.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the other
And
thing.
it hadn't been funded yet.
No, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get into oddball type situations, and companies like Pacific Private Money can think around outside the box. Whereas,
Right.
and it's not it doesn't do with you or your company.
No,
but
it's-
the thing is,
right.
the bank has to kind of look and go, what are we going to do with this loan? And
Yeah.
Especially if they would sell
We
it.
have this conversation every day with borrowers, and it goes something like this. So they'll say, well, why does it have to be that way? Or why are you asking me for this? Or why do I have to fill out that document? And what I've done is I've distilled it down to the 3 letters that they've distilled it down to us, and that is ATR, ability to repay. So if a lender cannot document ability to repay, the lender is always responsible for the outcome of that loan.
There you go. Okay, stay with us. The best of investing will come right back with some closing comments. Just
And
start to go a
that-
little bit.
Well, then, when she went through with me all her stuff, $15 million
Really?
is what she spent.
Yeah.
And she ended up getting a hardly loan, private money loan. First price was $1,650, and she put $800 down.
Right.
Oh, I remember you
She
telling me
couldn't
about
get a
that.
loan. Yeah, and
So-
I forgot that I sent her to Rob first.
So when they make a bridge on that, so how do they do it? She's going to live there. Then what does she do? What do you tell them is the exit strategy? She's going to pay the loan off?
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll refinance in 11 months. She has 11 months to refinance that
But
loan.
I mean, I don't even know if she'll be able to refinance in 11 months.
But then they can extend it.
Oh, well,
But they
I mean,
just can't put it in
They
writing.
can pay the loan off.
A lot of the money was her father's trust that hadn't been funded yet.
Right.
And she couldn't access them.
Right.
But if, 15 million, I'm pretty sure she'll be able to shake something from that
Yeah,
trade.
Exactly.
Pay it off. Yeah.
It's called common sense.
Yeah.
All
So
right, we
that was
have
good luck, yeah.
just 5
And it was
minutes.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
like, she's so good for it, but government,
And
ATR.
she's in Creekside?
Yeah.
We just closed one in Creekside today.
Oh, there's only one other, which is across the
Crystal
street, you did that,
Yeah.
Crystal Creek.
Yeah.
Well, she's Crystal Creek, and
Okay.
that's 3, and she was
Yeah, she did
19,
those.
yeah. What did it sell for? It was on for like 1.
Is that Abington? Off of Abington?
No, it's off of, it's near the Mountain Rocket Club, downtown Larkspur.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Mount
Just
Larkspur.
before you get downtown, it's between from where the hardware store is to Racket Club. It's on the left.
Bon Air.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Oh.
Yeah,
I can tell you.
doesn't matter, we'll find out. Yep.
It went fairly close to off price for I don't remember a lot of back and forth.
So
Do you remember what it listed at? If you
Oh,
did,
I
can-
can't remember, 1,
5,
7, or something. Was it?
Yeah.
5 minutes. What would you like to do?
Okay, 5 minutes.
Grab a coffee.
Exactly. Cutting wine.
And I'll do a soliloquy dance over here.
5 minutes. What
Get a
would you like to
cappuccino.
do?
What else?
Let's see.
You know what? You want to go back around this? The
Oh yeah, how do you compete in a
some
market?
tips for competing.
Yeah.
Ready? Yeah. Let's do it.
Welcome back to the best of investing. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Patti Cohen and Rob Spinoza. Now, Rob, you have an article you want to share?
Yeah, I didn't in fact know that Patti was going to be on the show, but it's perfect because we're seeing a lot of this, and I know she is too, and she was talking about it earlier in the show. So this article, the headline is "Writing Love Letters, Bidding $100K Extra, buying a Southern California home is insane. Like Crazy Eddie insane, if you remember that.
I remember Crazy
So,
Eddie.
yeah, you're from the East Coast. So what I wanted to talk about is, we touched on it in the other segment, but the little tips that you could give a buyer, Patty, maybe that things that are doing that resonate with sellers, and vice versa.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that's like I've seen many cycles of this hyper seller's market, many cycles. The biggest difference now that has never happened before is buyers are coming in completely bare with
No
all
contingencies.
contingencies removed. So we're seeing problems after the fact where they and the other thing that has changed.
Taking a chance on
Oh, it's a big
Yeah. Well, the other thing that has changed dramatically is that we, as listing agents, have disclosures up front,
right,
as well
right,
as
right.
reports up front and
Right.
inspections.
How about you buy the house and it'll fall down tomorrow? There you go. I've disclosed everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you can bet that there's been a lot of that buyer signed a lot of forms before they got to the end of that, saying
Right.
that they've been advised strongly by their agent to get
Yes,
reports.
that's page one.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
um,
So there's that. You can remove contingencies. I don't really recommend it, but if you've got 16 offers you want and you already have reports in front of you, you could do that.
That's true.
A lot of people will get a loan. A lot of people have cash. A lot of people don't. But if you're getting a loan and you feel really comfortable that you've been pre-qualified with Rob or whoever, a lot of people say, I'm not going to have that as a contingency. I'm still going to get a loan, but it's not contingent upon me getting a loan.
and we're advanced approving people. So what we do now is we typically run the pre-approved buyer through underwriting to try to cover all of those other things. But we've had some internal discussions about this too, because there's a lot of stuff that happens on the lender level, and people get these advanced approvals and they use them and they work very well for the most part. But there are things that come up. For example, most loan programs will pull a transcript of taxes, the IRS form 4506T. Let's say there's a problem with that. That's not the lender's fault. That's not the buyer's fault. That's just a problem. And so buyers have to understand that when they remove all contingencies, they remove known and unknown potential, and they have to be comfortable with that. And when I have that conversation with buyers, what I tell them is I don't remember which one of you said it before on the show, but you said it, are you comfortable with or without? I say, look, that earnest money deposit is in escrow. Are you comfortable losing that deposit?
Yeah, it's all risk, as you know.
It's all risk.
Yeah.
Because ultimately that's the core of your concern about, or the point of you removing your contingency is that you're putting that at risk. And you know what? We had to do that too as buyers, and that was the conversation I had with my wife. Is this money, we could lose this money.
Yeah.
And if the house is worth it, then you
Well, and again, that's where companies like Pacific Private Money come in, because just
Of
in case,
course.
for whatever reason, the lender's it's not even the lender's fault,
Right.
like something happens,
Yeah.
and suddenly it's like, and that's happened. Someone was going to lose, they had something ridiculous, like $1 million at risk.
Well,
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it was
so you
large
find a way.
transaction.
Yeah.
You find a way, and
Yeah.
so sure enough.
And I don't want to paint a picture that that everything it's all pitfalls. It's usually not. But I think that buyers in this market, number one, they have to appreciate the speed of the market, and they have to appreciate the level of their commitment, which includes financial commitment to the deal. Because if you don't do it, buyer B will.
yeah. And the other thing is people come in with a stronger deposit up front, too.
Right.
That's a good point. Okay, so let's give out all your information. Rob, how do people get a hold of you?
RPM Mortgage, rpm-mtg.com, and Mill Valley. Look me up online and on the Best of Investing website.
There you go. Patty.
Patty Cohn with Pacific Union, 415-722-4842. You can also check out my reviews on Zillow and Yelp.
Good.
Very good. All right. I'll yelp you.
Okay.
Okay, here's our thoughts for the day. When you talk, you are only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new.
Good.
And the desire to succeed means nothing without the will to prepare. I like that one too. All right, we're going to cut out for the day. And again, for those willing to or wanting to get a great rate of return on a fairly conservative investment, call Pacific Private Money at 415-883-2150. Tune in next week to the Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away more free prizes for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown. We're wishing you the best of investing. So long.
That was so fun. I love how fast it goes, don't you?
You love what?
I love how fast it goes.
Hey, you're great.
Yeah.
I mean, you just roll.
So are you.